Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the F-4S, of which is a currently Tier VII 11.3 BR premium jet fighter for the American Air Tech tree. This vehicle currently comes in a pack that includes the F-4S, 20 days of premium time, and 2,500 Golden Eagles, all for the current price of $69.99 USD. That said, in this video, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about this premium Phantom II variant, including its stats, how it plays, its strengths and weaknesses. I'll give it some scores in several key areas, and then I'll give my final recommendation on if I feel if this vehicle is worth purchasing or not. That said, if you like this kind of video, please consider subscribing to my channel, but without further ado, let's get into it. As always, to start, I'll place its stat card here on the side of the screen. Important things to note are its weapons, rate of climb, and turn time. Now with that said, how it plays. In short, the F-4S plays like the Phantom II-J, except that the S has leading edge slats which improve maneuverability. With this feature aside, the F-4S doesn't really function much differently from any other F-4. It has good acceleration, good top speed, meh handling, although of course it is better due to the aforementioned wing slat improvement, meh close range missiles, and good longer range missiles. Because the F-4S is based on the F-4J, it also receives helmet mounted sights and pulse Doppler radar, both of which will help tremendously when acquiring targets to shoot down with your missiles. With that said, the F-4S's best missiles are going to be the AIM-7F, of which can be used at both a relatively close and long range, and with decent success due to the pulse Doppler radar. These will likely account for a substantial amount of your kills. On the other hand, the F-4S has the decent, though not very good, AIM-9H missiles for close range, which are rear aspect only and don't have very good G overload. If nothing else, they are still usable and will get a few kills. Regardless, the F-4S, much like most other F-4s at and around this BR, will benefit from sitting a bit behind your allies while slinging AIM-7Fs, and then acting as a type of scavenger that picks off opponents that are either low energy or are easy to attack from your current angle. Because of the large heft of the F-4S, as well as its middling maneuverability, though of course as I said before this probably has the best maneuverability of all F-4s due to those leading edge slats, you will oftentimes have to find your opportunities rather than being able to create them, unlike with other planes such as the F-16 and MiG-29, which have far superior performance over the F-4S. In summation, use the F-4S as a support/long-range fighter at the beginning of the match, with your role transitioning to that of a support/opportunist as the match progresses. The F-4S is among the best Phantom variants currently in game, but typically cannot hold up one-on-one versus most higher BR fighters, as they will almost always have better performance, missiles, and avionics. Use your strengths to your advantage when using the F-4S, and be very mindful of your weaknesses. Now for close air support, the F-4S is, like most other Phantoms, a carrier of tons of dumb ordnance. Better said, at its max payload, the F-4S can carry over 6,000 kilograms of bombs, rockets, and missiles, although all anti-ground ordnance is unguided. If nothing else, the F-4S has ballistic computers for both bombs and rockets, which means that you should be able to deliver your payload with relative accuracy, although a bit closer to the enemy than you might prefer. When done with this, or even before doing this, you can use your missiles to destroy enemy planes and helicopters at will. Like most other F-4s, this is pretty much a bomb sled and should be treated like your Santa Claus, airdropping your many presents to all the little boys and girls on the enemy team. Now with that said, let's get into its strengths and weaknesses. And first, for its strengths, the F-4S can carry up to 8 missiles, with 4 being the meh AIM-9Hs and 4 being the AIM-7Fs or E2s. Second, it has very good acceleration and top speed, though it has of course been largely superseded by newer planes, such as the F-16 and MiG-29. Third, it has excellent ground attack capabilities, with the ability to carry upwards of 6,000 kilograms of ordnance between bombs, rockets, and missiles. Fourth, it has ballistic computers, again for both bombs and rockets. For its fifth strength, it has helmet-mounted sights which greatly assist when aiming your missiles. Beyond this, the F-4S has great roll rate. For its seventh strength, the F-4S has leading-edge slats, which give it increased maneuverability over other F-4 variants. And finally, it has premium RP and SL bonuses. Now with that said, for its weaknesses, the F-4S, much like any other Phantom, is large, heavy, and not very maneuverable, although it isn't as bad as people think, especially because it has leading edge slats. Again, I think that this is the only variant currently in game that has those slats, so it should in theory have the best maneuverability of all Phantoms. Now for its second weakness, while not exactly a weakness in and of itself, the F-4S has 60 countermeasures, which many people might consider to be insufficient at this BR, or at least close close to it. For its third weakness, it lacks a standard inboard cannon, making it so that you either have to equip a clunky 20mm cannon underneath the plane that will sap performance due to weight and aerodynamic issues, or you'll have to go into battle with missiles alone. For its fourth weakness, at least at this BR, AIM-9H missiles are a bit substandard. And finally, while it can't carry many tons of ordnance, the F-4S lacks guided munitions for ground strike. Now with all that said, let's get into how I rate this vehicle. For dogfighting and air RB, I give the F-4S a 6.5 out of 10. The F-4S is surprisingly capable in the right hands. It has extremely beneficial features, such as helmet-mounted sights, its thus far unique leading-edge slats for improved maneuverability, and pulse Doppler radar to pair with the excellent AIM-7F missiles. While some things do of course work against it, such as its large size and weight, as well as its middling AIM-9Hs, the F-4S still functions fairly well and is likely the best F-4 Phantom in the American air tech tree, and by a small but noticeable amount. It can do more or less everything that you ask of it, even though it has average performance for a plane of this BR. While not perfect, the F-4S can still hold its own in air RB, though it's not going to be on the cutting edge, will rarely be in down tiers, and will likely need to play as a more support / long range fighter initially before mixing it up in closer ranges as the match goes on. And now for close air support, I give it a 7 out of 10. This high of a score is given to the F-4S for two reasons alone, both its incredible carrying capacity and its ballistic computers. It can carry enough ordnance to annihilate many tanks in a single go, but will have a difficult time staying alive, especially as more advanced SPAA are added to Warthunder. If it can reach its target, however, it can launch very effective Zuni or Mighty Mouse rockets, as well as bombs that weigh up to 1,000 pounds each. The biggest downside of the F-4S, however, especially at this BR, is the fact that it can only carry unguided ordnance, albeit a lot of it. Additionally, the F-4S can carry air-to-air missiles without sacrificing any pylons that would otherwise be used for anti-ground ordnance, making it a very capable air cover vehicle. Now with that said, overall, I give the F-4S a 6.5 out of 10. Now I might be a bit generous here, and I'm sure that you guys will let me know in the comments below, because it probably can also be a 6.0 or a 6.25, but I feel that the F-4S is a truly capable aircraft, even in spite of newer and better vehicles constantly being added to Warthunder. It can perform anywhere from decently to well in any role that it can fill, be it anti-air or anti-ground, making the F-4S a jack of all trades. Now with all that being said, do I recommend the F-4S for purchase? The F-4S is essentially an F-4J with leading edge slats, which are definitely nice, as well as a supposedly reinforced airframe, being that that's one of the modifications that it was supposed to have in real life. Part of me says that this vehicle is an okay purchase, as it is a good generalist aircraft that can fill both roles for air and ground players, but the other part of me says that this is yet another F-4 Phantom, and while arguably being one of the best 2 or 3 Phantoms currently in Warthunder, it just doesn't offer anything better that you can't already experience from the regular air tech tree. Personally, I think that $70 is a bit too much to spend on an aircraft, but if you have to, and it has to be an American Tier 7 aircraft, I'd say you might want to go for the A6E tram first, as it has amazing AIM-9Ls and great CAS capability, all while being at a much lower BR. So while I do like the F-4S Phantom 2, I'll say that it's likely more of a vehicle that you might want to purchase on sale, and likely after you've already purchased the A6E tram. The F-4S is good, but it isn't exactly AIM-9Ls at 10.0 BR good. Now with that said, thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys thought about this video and of the F-4S in the comments below. Also, please consider liking and subscribing if you like this sort of content. Either way, thanks again, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.